been what? Today, Alan and Abigail.
Welcome to Arithmetic. Let's start by reviewing some facts. We're starting with our 4 multiplication family. Girls, you're going to start, and boys, you will echo. Girls, stand. 0 times 4. Together, begin. 0 times 4 equals 0. 1 times 4 equals 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 times 4 equals 16. 5 times 4 equals 20. 6 times 4 equals 24. 7 times 4 equals 28. 8 times 4 equals 32. 9 times 4 equals 36. 10 times 4 equals 40. 11 times 4 equals 44. 12 times 4 equals 48. Wonderful job, both teams. Now we're going to do our 2 division family. Boys, you will start, and then girls, you will echo. Boys, stand. 0 divided by 2. Ready? 0 divided by 2 equals 0. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. 14 divided by 2 equals 7. 16 divided by 2 equals 8. 18 divided by 2 equals 9. 20 divided by 2 equals 10. 22 divided by 2 equals 11. 24 divided by 2 equals 12. Now that we've reviewed some of those facts, we're going to take a look at these numbers and multiply by 4. Jimmy, you may turn on the lights and read this first number and then think. 4 times 4 equals what, Carson?
16.
Good. And think through this number. 8 times 4 equals what, Morgan?
32.
32 is correct. What does 9 times 4 equal, students watching? Anna?
36.
Help her out, Carson.
36.
Yes, that was a challenge. What was it, Anna?
36.
Good. What does 7 times 4 equal, Lexi?
28.
Fantastic. Good. 12 times 4. Jacob?
38.
You've got it. 0 times 4. Josh?
Good.
That one. King 0 ranked. 1 times 4. Adriana? You've got it. What is 5 times 4? Gage?
18.
Close.
Tyra?
20.
It is 20. What is it, Gage? 20 is correct. 10 times 4. Kathleen? Yes. Good thinking. 11 times 4. Josh? Yes. And 6 times 4. Arthur?
26.
Close. 24 is the correct answer. Good thinking. Now we're going to think through these story problems. Smile when you know the answer. Emma has 5 blue bows, 3 red bows, 2 green bows, 1 yellow bow, and 4 pink bows. How many bows does she have in all? Carson?
15.
Yes. Students watching, if you said 15, you are correct. Noah has 24 pencils that he wants to divide evenly into 2 boxes. How many pencils will be in each box? Arthur?
12.
Fantastic. How did you get your answer, Kaden?
24 divided by 2 equals 12.
That's it. Good thinking. At the goat farm, there are 9 hens that each have 4 baby goats. How many baby goats are there? Jacob?
36.
Yes. How did you get 36, Jacob?
9 times 4 equals 36.
That is correct. Nicely done. Now at this time, we're going to be doing lesson 29, speed drill. Prepare for your speed drill. Two minutes, speed drill position. Lesson 29, you may begin.
Put your
speed drill materials away. Karsten, Tyra, come help us. I'm going to hand them each a number, and we're going to take a look at their numbers. Read Karsten's number for us, Morgan.
256,804.
Good. And read Tyra's number, Jimmy.
531,987.
All right. Now, which one would be the greatest of those? Is it Tyra's or Karsten's? Gage?
Tyra's.
Good. Which one would be the least, Aiden?
Karsten.
Yes, you may hand me your cards and you may be seated. Let's have Adriana and Gage come hold my next numbers. Adriana and Gage. Read Adriana's number for me, Madison.
421,958.
Good. And read Gage's number, students watching.
48.
And Anna. Start with a 6.
6,000.
6. Okay. Let's pretend the comma's not there for right now. So 6.
607,000.
There you go.
248.
is correct. Which number is the largest? Is it Gage's or is it Adriana's, Arthur? Yes. Which one would be the least? Dev?
Adriana's.
Yes, thank you. You may be seated. Let's have Jimmy and Madison come hold my next two cards for us. Jimmy, this one is yours. And then Madison, this one is yours. Of these two numbers, say the largest number for me. Asa.
872,000.
You've got it. Which one would be the least? Josh? And which number is that? Read it for me.
276,853.
Very close. Let's slide this back just a little bit, Jimmy, so our students watching can also see. There you go. So start with 276.
276. 800.
276. The comma would be thousands. So 276.
853.
That's it. Good thinking. Thank you, helpers. You may be seated. Now we're going to take a look at some different shapes and some different things that we've learned with our geometric figures. First of all, what shape is this, Adriana? Yes, it is a square. How many vertexes does a square have, Dev?
4.
Good. How many right angles does a square have, Josh?
4.
Good. How many sides does an oval have, Arthur?
0.
Yes, exactly correct. How many vertexes does an oval have, Gage?
0.
0. How many right angles, students watching? And Kathleen?
9.
Right, none or 0. A triangle has how many sides, Morgan?
3.
3. How many vertexes, Tyra? 3. How many right angles does this triangle have? Presley?
9.
None or 0 is correct. What shape is this, Carly?
Circle.
Right. Does it have any sides, Adriana?
No.
Does it have any vertexes, Carson?
No.
Does it have any right angles, Jimmy?
No.
You're right. What do we call this shape, Dev?
Kite.
How many vertexes, Josh? 4. How many sides does this kite have, Morgan?
4.
Right. What do we call this shape, Una?
Rhombus.
It is a rhombus. How many vertexes does a rhombus have, Amaya?
4.
4 is correct. How many right angles does a rhombus have, Gage?
4.
Not 4.
0.
0 is correct. No right angles in a rhombus. What do we call this shape, Caden?
A rhombus.
Close. It almost looks like a rhombus, except the top and the bottom are a little bit longer. Asa?
Parallelogram.
It is a parallelogram. What is it, Caden?
Parallelogram.
Good. How many vertexes does a parallelogram have, Presley?
0.
Count again. A vertex is where two lines come together.
4.
4 is correct. So this does have 4. Now, how many right angles does this parallelogram have, Gage?
0.
0 is correct. What shape do we call this, Arthur?
Trapezoid.
It is a trapezoid. How many vertexes, Jimmy?
4.
How many right angles, Morgan?
2.
2. A trapezoid has 2. Count the number of sides. How many sides does this shape have, Josh?
6.
Yes. Because it has 6 sides, what do we call this shape, Jacob?
A hexagon.
Good. How many vertexes does a hexagon have, Aiden?
6.
Yes. Are there any parallel lines in a hexagon, Adriana?
Yes.
Yes. The top and the bottom and the sides are parallel. So this does have parallel lines. What shape do we call this, Anna? All right, help her out, Carly. Dev.
Pentagon.
Pentagon. If you said pentagon, students watching, you're correct. A pentagon has how many sides, Presley?
5.
5. Now, it doesn't matter in which direction those 5 sides are going. If a shape has 5 sides, it is a pentagon. How many vertexes does a pentagon have, Carson?
5.
5 is correct. Now, on this pentagon, are there any right angles, Jimmy?
No.
No, but some pentagons may have a right angle. If the outside lines are straight up and down, then they would. So you have to watch for the exact shape in a pentagon. What do we call this shape? Reminds me of baseball. Josh.
Diamond.
A diamond. How many sides does this diamond have? Adriana?
4.
Good. How many vertexes, Arthur?
0.
Close. Count them with me. It's where the 2 lines come together. 1, 2, 3, and
4.
4 is correct. What shape is this, Madison?
A rectangle.
Good. How many sides does a rectangle have, Tyra?
4.
How many vertexes, Gage?
4.
How many right angles, Presley?
4.
4 is correct. Good thinking. What do we call these 2 lines that cross? And each of them form a right angle as they cross. Caden?
Intersecting lines.
Close. Now, intersecting lines would be any 2 lines that cross. But because they cross
Parallel lines.
and form right angles, they're called perpendicular lines. What are they called?
Perpendicular.
Yes, class, say it.
Perpendicular lines.
They cross and form right angles. Now, what do we call 2 lines traveling side by side like railroad tracks, Jacob?
Intersecting lines.
Not intersecting lines. Presley?
Parallel lines.
Parallel lines. Parallel lines will never intersect, will never cross. And the reason they will never intersect, if they did cross, like on a train track, that would cause problems. So parallel lines are 2 lines that travel side by side, but they would never intersect or they would never cross. And then what shape is this, Dev?
A square.
Yes. How many right angles in a square, Adriana?
4.
That is correct. Now take out a scrap sheet of paper and a pencil. We're going to do some rounding. On your scrap sheet of paper and with your pencil, we're going to round this first number to the nearest 10. To the nearest 10. $55. 55. What number does that round to, Morgan?
60.
Did you have to round up or down?
Up.
Yes. The number 99. What does that round to? Jimmy?
100.
100. If you had that answer, put a smile beside that answer. 22. 22. Gage?
20.
Fantastic thinking. 44. 44. Presley?
40.
Yes. Did you have to round up or down, Presley?
Down.
Fantastic. 66. 66. Arthur?
70.
Good. 70. Did you have to round up or down, Arthur?
Up.
You've got it. Now we're going to round these numbers to the nearest 100. To the nearest 100. 120. 120. Think about the number in the tens place. What did you round to, Aiden?
300.
100 is correct. 340. 340. Una?
300.
300. Did you round up or down, Una?
Down.
Down. Good. 560. 560. Josh?
500.
Now think about the number in the tens column. What number is in the tens column? 560. You have a 5 and then a 6. Is the 6 going to make us round up or down? Up. So what is the next group of 100s after 500?
600.
600 is correct. Good thinking, Josh. 780. 780. Dev?
800.
Fantastic. Great thinking. Now leave that scrap sheet of paper and pencil on the corner of your desk. We're going today to take a look at something that is the distance around. I want you to listen as I read this story problem. Mr. Sagner was putting a new fence around the school playground. Before he could buy supplies, he needed to know the distance around the playground. So he measured the length of each side of the playground. The distance around the playground is called the perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. Did you hear a word that I kept repeating? One of those words was the word around. When we are looking at perimeter, we are looking at the distance around. Here I have the word perimeter on the board. Let's spell perimeter. Together begin. Perimeter. P-E-R-I-M-E-T-E-R. Perimeter. When I say perimeter, I want you to think distance around an object. So to find the perimeter or distance around a shape, we have to measure each side and add up the measurements. So here on the chalkboard, I have a shape. Perhaps the playground is in the middle of this shape, and this is the fence that is going around the playground. So how am I going to find the perimeter? I'm going to need to measure the distance around that shape. To do so, I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to take the ruler and measure the outside of every side. How many sides does this shape have? Dev?
4.
It has 4 sides. Now to find the distance around a shape, and if I'm going to get the length of every single shape's length, I'm going to end up having 4 numbers. So let's take a look at this first side. I'm going to use my ruler to measure the length of the first side. I need to make sure that I start with the 0 and place it at the top and go from top to bottom. Come read the number right here where this line stops. Carson. What number is that right there? 7. So it is 7 inches. We know this first line is 7 inches. So I'm going to label this first one with the shortened way for inches with the 2 lines beside it. I know the length from here top to bottom is 7 inches. Now we need to do the top side of this line. So I'm going to start here on this end and go from this end all the way over. So let's have Deb. You can come around and you're going to be able to read this number for us. Remember, we're going to end up having 4 numbers because we need to do the whole way around. What number is that?
11.
Good, it is 11. So we know the top line is 11 inches. Well, now we've done this side and this side, but we're not done because we only have 2 sides. We need to keep going. So let's go on to my next side. Adriana, you can come be ready to read this number for me. So I'm going to make sure that I start my ruler here over at the 0 and I measure the length of this next side. What number does that one stop at? Yes, 7, thank you. That nearest number is 7. So we have 7 inches on that side. Are we done? No, we have 1 more side to do, the bottom. Kaden, come to be ready to read this next number. So I'm going to measure the length of the bottom, making sure I line up my numbers. What is this nearest whole number that's correct? Thank you, Kaden. So we're going to write 11 inches on the bottom. Together. So I will take the 7. I will write that number down. Plus 11 plus the 7. Let's fix that. And then we'll put the 11 down beside it as well. So we have 11. And then I can add all of these numbers together. We're going to add the ones column starting with this 7. 7 plus 1 equals?
8.
8 plus 7 equals?
15.
15 plus 1 equals?
16.
16 is correct. So we'll have my 6, and then I will add the 1 to the top of the next column. When there is no space here, it would be just as if it were 0. So 1 plus 0 is?
1.
Plus 1 is?
2.
Plus 0 is?
2.
2 plus 1 is?
3.
3 is correct. So my final answer is 36. Well, 36 what? What are we talking about? We're talking in this instance, it would be 36 inches, the distance around this shape. Now let's take a look at this shape. This is a triangle. So we have 3 sides that we need to find the distance around. Gage can be ready to read this. First, distance. We're going to start here and go around clockwise. So I'm going to make sure that the first line lines up with the top vertex, and then the next line ends up with the next vertex, which is the 4, which is this bottom number. So where does this number stop at? 4. It is 4. Thank you, Gage. So we know that this first line is 4 inches. Now we need to do the second side. We line it up from vertex to vertex. Josh can be ready to read this next number. So from the top vertex to this bottom vertex, we're going to find the distance. What number is that? It is 4 inches. So our next side is also 4 inches. And then Asa, you can come be ready to read the last side. So we line it up from vertex to vertex. So I start on this vertex, I line it up all the way to this vertex. What number is that? 4. It is 4. So I again have 4 inches on the bottom. Now I need to add them all together. How many numbers will I add together, Dev?
3.
3 is correct. So I will have 4 plus 4 plus 4. When I add 4 plus 4 plus 4, what answer do I get, Tyra?
12.
12. 12 what, Aiden?
Inches.
Inches is correct. So I have 12 inches. This is my perimeter. The perimeter is the distance what, Madison?
Around each side?
Yes, the distance around an object. Now, we're going to find the perimeter of the table at the front. So I'm going to slide these things over so that we'll be able to use it and take a closer look at it. Now, to be able to find the distance around my table here at the front, I have a larger ruler. This is a tape measure where I can pull it out and measure more than what we could on our 12-inch ruler. So we're going to slide this table out to the front here, and we're going to take a look at some of these things here. All right, so the first thing we're going to measure is from the bottom to the top. So I need Gage. You get to hold the bottom of this down to the bottom of this table. So move it, yes, all the way, and we're doing just to the bottom of the table. So let go for just a moment. Yep, and there you go. So hold it right there, right about there. And then let's have, Jimmy, you can come read the number that would be the closest number right here in black.
27.
Yes, so we have 27 inches. So remember that number, Jimmy. I'm coming back to you. Oh, Gage, we're not done yet. We did just one side. So Gage, hold that side. And we're going to measure across to this side. So Jimmy, you can come. And then what number is this one? We'll go to the nearest whole inch.
37 inches.
Yes, so we had 27, then 37. Jimmy, you don't go anywhere. You can stay right there. Gage, you can slide over back to the front. We're going to move it back to the bottom because we need to do this side. So Gage, you can go down there. And then what number is this at?
27 inches.
Yes, so we have 27, 37, 27. Now we're going to do the bottom. Can you help me do the bottom, Gage? So you're going to go to that side, go back to the first vertex. And then we're going to do the bottom side, and here we'll bend down together. And you can do the bottom side down there. And then what is this one?
37 inches.
Good. All right. Thank you, boys. You may be seated. So we'll put our tape measure up here, and we're going to write those numbers down to find the perimeter of our table. So what was the first number again? Jimmy?
27.
Yes, 27. Testing your memory there. The second number was what, Jimmy?
37.
Yes. Then the third number was what? Jimmy?
27.
And then the last number was what, Jimmy? You would make a great construction worker. All right, now we're going to take these numbers and combine them or add them. So we're going to start in the ones column and add it up like a regular addition problem. 7 plus 7 equals?
14.
Plus 7 equals?
21.
21 plus 4 is?
28.
28 is correct. So I will have my 8, and then we will put the 2 at the top of the next column. 2 plus 2 is?
4.
Plus 3 is?
7.
Plus 2 is?
9.
Plus 3 is?
12.
12. So the perimeter for our table would be 128 inches. We'll use the words IN period to abbreviate that. A perimeter is distance around. Let's say that together. Perimeter is distance around. Let's practice some more on your arithmetic page. So take out your arithmetic page. And once you have that ready, you may put your name at the top. Now, once you've written your name at the top, let's take a look at that first box together. Perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around the outside of a plane figure. The abbreviation for perimeter is P. So when we need to find the perimeter, if it's asking for it, you'll see the letter P to represent perimeter. So for this, 6 inches. The perimeter equals 6 inches. Now, before we practice the ones on our page, go ahead and take out a ruler. And let's take a look at number 1. For the square, you're going to start at the bottom and go to the top. Work clockwise around that shape. You see that the first side is already labeled for you. The first side from top to bottom is what number of inches, class?
3.
3. From the left side to the right side on the top is what number of inches, class?
3.
3. From top to bottom on the right is?
3.
Good. And then across the bottom, how many inches do you have?
3.
3. So if you add all of those together, 3 plus 3 plus 3, what answer do you get, Arthur? 12 inches. The perimeter equals 12 inches. Go ahead and add the sides for your triangle. Smile when you have an answer. Tyra, what did you find?
16.
Not 16. That bottom one isn't a 4. The bottom one is a 3. Carson?
11.
11 inches is correct. So make sure you watch for those exact numbers. Now in your hexagon, you have 6 sides. So you have 6 numbers you're adding together. What answer did you get, Deb?
30.
30. Students watching, if you found the number 30 to be your answer, you are correct. Now you'll need to use that ruler for this rectangle. So start at the bottom and then measure up to the top, find that length, put the number of inches on each line, and then you may add them together. Now let's find out what the length of these lines were. As you measured around your rectangle, tell me the numbers, the inches that you found going around. Caden?
8 inches.
Okay, stand and tell me the first side. Just the first side was a?
1.
1. The top was a?
3.
The right was a?
3.
Not a 3. The right side was a?
1.
1, and then the bottom was a?
3.
3. So when you add that all together, you should have gotten what, Caden?
8 inches.
8 inches is correct. Now let's go on to section 3, writing the quotients. I'm going to start. You give me the answer and write it down. Letter A, 10 divided by 2 equals?
5.
5. Good. Letter B, 10 divided by 1 equals?
10.
10. Letter C, 24 divided by 2 equals?
12.
12. Letter D, 8 divided by 2 equals?
4.
4. Letter E, 6 divided by 2 equals?
3.
3. Letter F, 22 divided by 2 equals?
11.
11. Letter G, 14 divided by 1 equals?
14.
Good. Letter H, 14 divided by 2 equals?
7.
7. Letter I, 18 divided by 2 equals?
9.
9 is the correct answer. Let's take a look at the back of the paper. You're going to write the answer to the listening. Show your work in the work. There were 15 lemurs on the ground. 8 lemurs in the tamarind tree and 12 lemurs in the mango tree. How many lemurs were there all together? Students watching? Asa.
I forgot what it was.
Go ahead and add all those numbers together. Carson.
35.
35. Students watching, if you said 35, you are correct. For section 5, you're going to follow the signs. You're going to multiply, so do so carefully. You may begin working on section 5. You may begin letter A at number 1. Do letter B at number 2. Madison, actually, I'm going to switch you. You do letter C at number 3. Madison, you do letter B at number 2. Jackson, you do letter D at number 4. And Jacob, you do letter E at number 5. For letter A, you should have 160. Excellent thinking as you had to carry into the tens column. For letter B, you should have 19,636. Excellent adding with that large number. Every digit exact. Well done. For letter C, let's check our work. 9 minus 3 does equal 6. Now for the tens column, 2 minus 5. The bottom is bigger, so I have to do what, class? Borrow. So I'm going to subtract 1. 6 minus 1 equals?
5.
5 is correct. Nice job. Then we're going to add the 10 to the next column. Now, not to the 9, but to that column right beside it. So now we have 12 minus 7, which equals, class? 12 minus 5, class?
7.
7 is correct. If you were listening carefully, you got a sneak peek.
Borrow.
Good. Now I have to look at the next column. I have 1 here, but I still can borrow from that. 1 minus 1 equals?
0.
0. So then I can add the 10. 15 minus 8 equals? 7. So my final answer should be 776 should be the correct answer. For letter D, 248. And then for letter E, 586. Now let's take a look at section 6. Go ahead and fill in those missing terms. Now let's check some of those answers. When I point to you, you may fill in the blank. Letter A, 6 plus 2 equals 8. Letter B, 6 minus 2 equals 4. Letter C, 6 times 2 equals 12. Letter D, 6 divided by 2 equals 3. For section 7, you will go ahead and finish multiplying, subtracting, adding as those process signs tell you to do to find that final answer. Now let's take a look at the brain booster. What is the perimeter of this square? If only one side is labeled without using a ruler, how are we going to find the other length of the sides, Carson?
5 times 4 equals 20.
Yes. How did you know to do 5 times 4, Carson?
Because the square has all of the sides complete.
That is correct. Because in a square, all the sides' lengths are equal, so we know the top side is also going to be 5 inches. So is the left, so is the bottom. So 5 times 4 equals what? Adriana? 20. So the perimeter for that square is 20. Students watching, you'll go ahead and finish this paper with your on-site teacher.